Meine Damen und Herren, ganz, ganz herzlich willkommen hier bei der Leseinsel der unabhängigen Verlage. Einer der unabhängigen Verlage, der zumindest in dem, was die deutsche Comic-Szene betrifft, die großartigste Arbeit seit 20 Jahren leistet, die ich so kenne. Das ist der Reprodukt Verlag und in dessen Auftrag sitzen wir hier. And now I'm going to change to English because my guest is from France. And we don't want to bother you with speaking French, but we guess English might be suitable for the audience here in Frankfurt. This is such an international fair, as I'm hearing all the time, that I think we can dare to do this talk in English. Welcome very much to David Prudhomme.
Thank you, welcome. Thank you.
The book we're going to talk mostly about today is the new one, which is published by Reprodukt only this week, Rembetissa. Oh wow, it's difficult enough for me.
Yes.
And the fascinating thing about is, of course, the great story which it tells. But in another way, it is a kind of second part to a comic which was published also by Reprodukt 15 years ago, Rembetissa. And the first question has to be, Rembetissa was celebrated. It won several awards in France. It was translated in many languages. It was very well received. I simply loved it. It's one of the favorite comics I got in the last 20 years. Why did you try to continue it after such a long time?
Because I have a spirit of challenging. No, because I learned a lot of things about Rembetissa, the kind of music after the book is his life. So you know the most of the thing you learn after the book is done, is published. I had a lot of drawing concert, we call it, with the musicians of Rembetissa and me drawing beside them. So around the world, I have a translator in Greece, who is a comics author and also a bouzouki player. So we had a lot of talk, and he brought me a lot of ideas. And then, but it's not enough to make a book to learn something. So I had to have a link, a personal link, with the informations about Rembetissa, like in the first book. The first book is a mix, a marriage between my personal link with the stories of the characters and the Rembetissa situation.
Yeah.
And I needed this personal part for the second book. I waited for long. I was not expecting anything. I thought it was finished, in fact, with the first book. But one of my friends, because in the first book we have the coming of a woman, a singer, who is coming at the end of the book. And the first story is about one night, one day of boys band, I don't know.
Definitely, a boys band.
Yes. They are running through Athens and the Piraeus, and then at the end, one woman, came into the band and sing with them, and then the night vanished, and that friend of mine told me, because it was one of my questions, why I put this woman in this band, and he told me, well, you don't remember Marina? Marina was a girl. We were boys in the art school, and this is our story, in fact, in the first book. The stories of young boys in a city, lost in the city, and playing music. That's what we were playing music all night. Never went to school at the day, of course, because we were tired. And it was art school of comics in Angoulême. And Angoulême is a small city, nothing to do.
Definitely is.
Yes.
Well, there are 4 days per year where a lot is to do there.
Only 4 days. And then after Marina came into our band, and the band exploded.
Wow.
And so I remarked this, and it was not conscious in the first book. I just wanted to point that there were two kind of rebettico. One song played with a musician from Asia Minor, Minor Asia, I would say. Sorry for the translation. And another part played by the rough man from the port, from the quite how could say outlaws, almost. And then these two styles, I wanted to point by the coming of this singer, but it was not enough. So finally, when I discovered it was Marina, all the story lights in my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can really see this, because if you're looking at the last page where the female singer, Beba, in Rembettico, is leaving the band, there is this very small panel there on that planche here at the end of the album. And then when you see the first page of the new album, you have in front, and of course a large portrait of her. So you see at once this epiphany in a way that you're drawing there. That for me was really great. When I opened the book, I thought, wow, now I know so much about this book. When thinking of the older one, it's really a great idea of starting it like this. And then you see, of course, this is the central figure of your new story. I guess Rembetissa is simply the female Rembettico, or what is, because I don't speak Greek. What is Rembetissa in difference to Rembettico?
Yes, Rembettico is the style of music.
So the music itself.
And Rembetissa is a female singer.
But of course, we don't have only Beba as a female musician in the second book. We have two other very, very strong female characters in this book. We will talk about this afterwards. But there is a kind of tendency in the last years in many arts, but especially in the comic books, to put you strengthen the role of female characters or so. But as far as I learned from you now, there was really a very autobiographical approach to this story with your experiences with the female musician you were talking about. So it's not a kind of political statement that you have females now in the middle, or do
so
you
both
sort of too?
Yes, I need both.
Okay. How was it received in France? Because as I told, this book really blew up. You won so many awards for it. It was very well received. What about the new one? After such a long time, did your audience love it in France? What was the response of the people who knew Rembettico? And did you find a new audience, a new readership with a new album?
Probably some kind of new audience, and very well received.
Yeah.
Good criticisms. Well, now no award at all. It's okay.
Okay. The two other women which are really central to this story is, well, let's say a bar owner, a female bar owner or tavern owner, you've got to say, who has a nightclub where this band is playing. And this nightclub is facing the risk of being shut down. And now, first we have to talk about the political situation that you're talking. All this happens in 1938. That was a crucial... 1937? Six? Okay, sorry.
6 to 38.
Yeah. And that was a very crucial point in Greek history, because there we had the starting of a dictatorship, a very interesting dictatorship, but in a way it was a kind of close to fascism. Otherwise, it was extremely tolerant, especially concerning Jews, but it was absolutely intolerant when it comes to music. What was the situation like in that time? Because that is very little known in Germany.
Yes, I think the last point you precise is linked to the, we must say, to the situation of 1922 in between Greece and Asia Minor, which would become Turkey.
Yep.
And in 1922, there is what the Greek called it the great catastrophe. I don't know.
Yeah, catastrophe. Yeah.
Yeah. There is an exchange of population between Greece and Turkey, and really Orthodox from Smyrna must run, I could say, by boat, but they must. They went away from, and it was 1.5 million people, so it's huge. And in another way, from Thessaloniki or this part, almost 1 million of Asian miners go to Turkey. And in these boats, there were some musicians, very educated people in Smyrna. It was very society, very cultural society. But before 1922, and in the antique times, till the antique times, Greece was quite proud of all its cultural area around the sea. Yeah. And at this is a turning point, because all the Eastern culture, all the Oriental way of thinking, feeling, are rejected by not the states, but the I could say
the government.
Not government, but kind of authorities or people. But the people we live upon loved this kind of music, but the government said it reminds us too much this lost, this defeat. So we reject this part of our defeat. We don't want to see this defeat, and we want to to look at the western part of the Greece. So Rembetissa is a kind of alibi, I would say, a tool for the metaxas, for the government.
Yeah.
And the musicians are unfortunately how could we say les jouets? I don't know.
Plays or whatever,
Right.
jouet, no, Spielzeug, toys.
Broken toys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Broken toys of this story.
Yeah. How did you come across this topic? It is one of the not so well known parts of European history. It's
Not
far
so.
away from Germany, from France too, I guess.
Yes.
The music might be popular. There was a very popular film in the 80s called Rembetissa, which is really fascinating to watch.
Yes.
But it wasn't a huge success, at least in Germany. So not too many people, which I know, have seen it.
Yes, I think he won an award on Berlin.
It
Festival.
did, in fact,
Yeah.
but unfortunately it came into I checked this because I wanted to know about it. I was stunned that it won the Golden Bear in Berlin in 1983.
Right.
And it came, of course, into the cinemas, but I talked to people who were really engaged cinema goers at this time, and they all said, no, we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We knew about it, but we haven't seen it. It wasn't too long in cinemas.
Yeah.
And I watched it after reading your comic, and I was really stunned about the quality of this movie.
Yeah.
It's really great, and there, of course, are some similarities in the
With first
structure.
one.
Yeah,
With the first
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
But
Was that a kind of introduction to you with this kind of music and this culture?
It helped me a lot for the ambience of the tekes.
Yeah.
The tekes are the kind of coffee coffee shop, I would
Yeah.
say now, and it's really different in the structure, because the movie is running. The story of the movie is running through 1915 to 1950, I think.
Yeah.
It's the story
Exactly,
of one
yeah.
woman, one singer, and we follow his mother, and after her,
Exactly.
and it's kind of mellow, really. And I didn't want to make mellow. Tragic comedy is a tone that I like, that I appreciate, and my story is on one day, so I took
Absolutely.
the contrary to be, because I'm not Greek. And I think one day is interesting to put questions on the table. Just put questions, and there's a lot of questions with this music, with this political situation, social situation, everything, geopolitical situation also, and the status of the margin, the relation with the people and their government. There's a lot of question, but I don't pretend to have the answers, and so that was my ruse.
Yeah. What I loved about the new book is that politics are getting more and more important now in the story. And we're just seeing some of the pictures there, which is a kind of, I guess, fantasy about one of the musicians visiting the Greek president at that time, Metaxas. It's a brilliant scene because you don't have a black and white division between the two, but you have a president who is listening to this musician, and in a way, he's sympathizing with this musician, but he doesn't change the final his politics about the music. But it's a great scene, in fact.
Yes, the Metaxas is accepting. He says he's accepting one kind of rebettico, because there's a lot of I said two styles, but there's a lot of subdivisions of the music, and he refused Acyclidicus, it's the name, so songs about hashish or things like this, police, and of course the sound, the sonority, the music, oriental notes are not allowed, but he permits, he accepts a kind of music more occidental. The more occidental part of the music would be accepted by him. But what was interesting me in this scene, it was but the character is coming, the player that we see on the picture, who is trying to be the advocate of rebettico, is arguing with Metaxas, but Metaxas says, okay, perhaps we'll see. Well, he make him laugh, but by the laugh, the solution is laughing sometimes, and so kind of sympathy came, and after that, this is a scene that musician relate to his companion, to his friend, and they don't believe it. They don't believe him. And I keep the part, and I think it was an interesting point for me, because this is a scene I read in autobiography of Papayo Anu, who is the figure, and I read a lot of things on rebettico, and you see each musician write his own legend, write his own fantasy. Rebettico now, because it's an old story, is a fantasy land, a land of fantasy, and I wanted to put the light on this point. I tell you a story. Is it true or not? Yeah. Just another question. And I do this 2 times in the book. Another time we have someone who relates an experience, and I think it's interesting in comics to input this the connection with the image and text. And is the text a liar, or the image is a liar? We don't know.
What I love about your comic books, especially these 2 ones, are the atmospheres you are creating. And what I really found astonishing in this book is that it's a story about music, but all the time when music is played, you have only images. You don't have sound words, for example. You don't have notes, which is the usual way of depicting music. Then you have some lines of notes going through the pictures. And as you can see here, especially in the scenes we are showing here, this is a concert scene in one of the bars, and you have the singer singing, but you don't read her words. You don't see the music that's played. Otherwise, then the musicians are acting, they are playing their instruments or so. So it's a kind of silent presentation of music that you're doing. This is, of course, completely different as in the movies, where you always hear big music. And so why did you make this decision of not telling us about the music, just giving the atmosphere of this music, or the atmosphere it evokes in you, I guess? How it looks like, not how it sounds like.
I just accept the idea that in comics we don't have sound.
But you are one of the very few artists which accept this idea.
Yes. It's a strong. We have to fight. Again, with this myth, but I play. Yes, I pushed the line. And then the music is something that we reconstruct by looking at the musicians and the audience, and the link between one panel and another, and we imagine the music. Even if I have drawn some notes or even brush gesture, you see, or just little thin lines like this to suggest one sound. Well, it's already something I put on under the eyes of the readers, and I just wanted to say there's no sound, so this is an intellectual cosa mentale, an intellectual lecture, and the color of the scene made a bath, a kind of warm bath. That's enough for me, and then the shadows also. The attention to the attitudes of the characters must input this mechanic of reading, and then also I didn't want to have a separation between the life of every day for this musician and the moment of playing. Because they are the same, they are so the same way of living. The music are their life are the music. So is the music. So no difference, except the color. The color is always orange. We are in an orange club. I said it to you just before. It's not the blue note; it's the orange club, and then. It's always the same cafe in this book, not like in the first one. The musicians are floating through cafes.
Exactly.
Different one, but we have to recognize it immediately. In the second book.
It is one of the simply most beautiful drawn comics which I know, and especially I found that very interesting how different the mood is in the second part.
Yes.
This is really amazing to see. It's the same, in a way, the same story, a continuation of the story, but in a completely different mood, which is really fascinating to see.
You see, it's like a medal.
Yeah.
Really. And even in the idea of recording music or playing music live. There are two different points in the two books. Reverse one.
So unfortunately our time is almost over, but just a very, very small last question or so. When we met today, we were talking a bit about mutual love for the art of Möbius, of the French comic book artist Jean Giraud. Was he a kind of inspiration for this kind of story too?
I don't think so. I don't. Unfortunately.
No. That is absolutely okay. Because I'm always looking for parallels in comic history or so. And for me, it was quite difficult to find something similar to this because it is so unusual in the way you're telling this story.
Yes.
I simply wanted to know if you got some inspiration from other stories or so.
Of course, but the way of accepting the idea, Moebius said, we should make a story in a shape of how we say allumette.
Oh Gott, Streichhölzer. Matches. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks. Matches.
Yeah.
Light warm matches.
I think this
It's
is
a kind of shape of elephant. You see,
Yeah.
accepting the idea that a story is not necessarily a script with a how could we say structure. Really, this is for the first book,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
And well, I love the Moebius method.
So let's close with this love for this. You will love this book if you're going to read it. You will love the first one too. And of course, it's much better to read both of them because then it's really fun because you can see the differences and the continuations.
Yeah.
It's one of the great projects which we've seen in the last 20 years in European comics. Thank you so much for being here.
you.
Thank you even more for these books. Thank you.
Thank you very much to you. Karistopoli, Dankeschön. Bye bye.